Welcome to the first ever episode of Hogs and Dogs, another little brainchild of myself and mostly of Landon Green and our new friend, Landon's old friend. I just made a new friend today, Dakota Ritchie, with us as well. We got a couple really fun things to talk about today. Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals, obviously Oklahoma City and San Antonio. Ritchie will have some coaching things going on that he does in his life, and just kind of wherever things take us. We have a really cool little rating system that somebody came up with for some ballpark food that exists in Major League Baseball. Gentlemen, I also just found a little graphic that I kind of wanted to start the show with because we know being around Stillwater, and Richie, actually don't know where you're located out of, but being around Oklahoma State last season, the 231 phenomenon kind of took over a lot of the discourse of Oklahoma State football. And whether you're a fan of it or not, it was just a phenomenon. And it's taken over the world of sports in general. There's tarps off sections everywhere, shirtless sections everywhere you go. And the most recent thing that really took off was at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. They have a big section for it. The Cardinals are terrible right now, and that's usually what lends itself to sections like this. Busch Stadium has put out an official tarps off section that has its own rule book for people to follow while they're in that section. You are expected to be standing throughout the duration of the game or the duration of time that you are in that section. You are expected to be loud and passionate at all times, but you will be removed from the section for fighting, throwing of objects, blocking aisles, disruptive behavior, or, in my opinion, the only real purpose of being in this section, excessive intoxication will remove you from the section.
I mean, it kind of lends itself to excessive intoxication. Like, what are we talking about? I mean, you're sitting up there, in the thing, got your shirt off, you're running, you're screaming, you're at a baseball game. I mean, hey, that's the perfect place for a 999.
That's not excessive. I think they just don't want you exercise like everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So as long as you're keeping it within that. Excessive is relative depending on who you ask. So to me, that's not excessive. Shirts off. That's first base, man.
Yeah, it sucks because, like, hey, unfortunately, it's like it's a recession indicator. As you take your, more sections start to open up, that you can take your shirts off up here. You look at the on-field product, and it tends to not be very good. It tends to be one of those things where hey, we suck this year, but at least we're having fun. It seems to indicate that, and so, man, that's fun. But hey, I mean, it seems like it would be one of those places where you would be, intoxicated excessively.
How far into your beers of the evening, or how far into your 999 challenge at Busch Stadium would you have to be to end up in the tarps off section at Busch Stadium?
I mean, probably if I'm just doing 999, I mean, seventh inning is probably where we're getting up there, because you got the stretch, you got the taking you out to the ballpark playing. I mean, by then, and you got to get the 3 because they stop serving after the seventh inning, so you got to get the 3 before you get to 7, 8, and 9. And so, yeah, that'd probably be about where I get up there. And 7, 8, and 9, a lot of it's probably going to end up on my chest. We're going to be glistening by the end of that
one. I think that I've tried to scientific this in my brain, right? That I'm a big proponent, and Richie, the longer that you know me, this won't surprise you. I'm a big proponent of things like the 999 challenge. My diet is basically 65% beer and hot dogs anyway, so it just works out. By the 7th inning, I imagine in the summer in St. Louis, you probably got like the meat sweats going on. So, yeah. I mean, I'm a large man. The meat sweats are one of my mortal enemies. So by the 6th inning, I don't know that I'm sober enough to spin my shirt around my head and scream while I'm also trying to knock down some beers and some dogs. But I'm going to say that that's my That's my relief during the 999 is I get to go tarps off and cool myself down a little bit.
The winds off the plains of Missouri sweeping down over your body.
It'll be better than the last time I was at Busch Stadium and I almost drove myself into the Mississippi River.
Hey, that's what the Cardinals want to do right now. The Cardinals wish they could drive off into the Mississippi River.
Take a ride with you.
Yeah, right through the arch.
Oh, man.
I forgot that there are times in Major League Baseball where on a random Tuesday there's a noon first pitch for something, and my car was getting herded into a parking lot, and I did not have a ticket to that game or any intention of going to that game. I was just driving through St. Louis on my way to Kentucky and I got myself out of the parking lot. It didn't help that it was the one time in my life I've ever just organically worn a red shirt. So I blended into the atmosphere, I guess. It was trying to get out, and I don't know St. Louis, but the GPS was not helping me because all the roads were marked off because of game day traffic. And I found a little alley that I could drive down and make a turnaround basically to get back out on the main road. That's what the GPS told me. In fact, that alley just dead ends into the Mississippi River. So I trusted it almost a little bit too much and almost took a little bit of a swim trying to get out of St. Louis.
Oh, man. Golly. Imagine that at night, just not paying attention. Turn left here. Oh, okay.
Yeah, at night you would have definitely ended up in the Mississippi River. You'd have been out there like Huck Finn, baby.
I just didn't know how there wasn't some kind of like prevention. There wasn't like a
no barrier
or fence or anything. Gosh. It was just the road ends and there's the water.
That's St. Louis. That's a theme.
It's a natural selection.
Yeah, it's like, hey, the road ends and here's the water. Like that's St. Louis. Get to a certain point, there's the river. Like, good luck.
Man.
But you want to talk Game 7?
Yeah, we could do that. And I admit, and I say this on my radio show every day, that I kind of take a little bit of a backseat to these things. Not because I'm not a Thunder fan or a Spurs fan. I just don't get a chance to watch a lot of the NBA. So I'm just kind of out of touch a little bit on the NBA. I texted a good buddy of mine recently because I was watching a highlight from the Eastern Conference Finals and said, since when does James Harden play in Cleveland? Because I was completely unaware that he was even on that roster. And I said, I thought he was still on this roster. And the text message I got back was, that was 3 teams ago. I said,
"You thought he was with the Nets?"
Cool. Yeah, I was just like, the last I saw of him, he was in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
like, yeah, he's been in Philadelphia and Los Angeles since then. Like, oh, sick. Yeah. Okay, great.
Yeah, they traded him earlier this season, right before the trade deadline, I think.
So he hasn't been in Cleveland for like 3 years, and I'm just like completely out of my mind.
No, it's fairly new, but he turned into prime Jim Harden, and playoff James Harden in the Eastern Conference Finals. He just didn't show up, and that's what he does. That's his thing. He's like, hey, I'm going to be a 30-point per game guy. I'm going to do that, all year long, and then when it comes to elimination games or trying to get my team a championship, I'm gonna go over here and score 10 points.
Pack it in.
Yeah.
Now, I've been open about the fact that the reason I watch the less of the NBA now is just I'm not, and I get to hear Landon get very passionate about this in the office some mornings because he has the unfortunate distinction of being able to read things online that get him fired up in the morning. That I love defensive basketball, and when I was growing up watching basketball as a fan of basketball, and pre-08, I was a Spurs fan until the Thunder moved to Oklahoma City, and the player that I idolized growing up was Tim Duncan. And I loved the way that he played basketball, and I loved, especially on the defensive side of it, I just don't feel like there's a ton of top-level defense played in the game of basketball anymore. and James Harden was one of the first players I noticed that with when he was in Oklahoma City. Just watching him getting blown by on every possession. And then for Cleveland to come out and
Edit
say,
that out.
We'll say hi.
I'm sick.
Yeah, she's not feeling too hot, guys.
Spirit
Once we get off
fingers.
here, it's gonna be a long day. It's gonna be all right though. You got this.
Reoccurring strep in 2 weeks.
oof.
Not okay.
But hearing the Cavaliers and computer wizard analytics master Kenny Atkinson say that James Harden was one of their best defensive players kind of made me say, I don't know if the NBA is for me anymore because it's going to drive me nuts.
Yeah, that was something I remember back when he was on the Rockets, when he won MVP, and those couple of seasons where he was either close or won it. That was something that a lot of people really talked about was, he didn't really play defense. He didn't play team defense, but he led the league in steals. Like he had the most steals per 20 minutes or whatever the stat is or whatever. And so when you go back and look at his highlights, a lot of it is him, letting the guys pass him and then just like cherry picking them, from behind, like knocking the ball out from behind and then getting a steal that way. But yeah, it's he never really was a defensive guru or anything like that. And so, yeah, but hey, Kyle, I'll tell you what, this Western Conference Finals might turn you around. I mean, it might turn around the way you think about the NBA because these guys don't like each other.
Have you not watched any of it? You didn't game one, double overtime?
So, and I'll preface it with this, is that these games being in the evening, I'm currently in rehearsals for a musical that I'm doing. So I'm
My
not
Fair Lady, everyone. My Fair Lady.
Shout out.
At Tanningham.
I'm not at home during the evenings right now. So a lot of times I am playing catch up on games and things like that. So I've watched, the highlight packages and I've watched the analysis and I keep track of box scores and things like that. I have a lot of friends who are much more involved in NBA coverage than I am. So I've seen bits of it, but I haven't been able, just because of a scheduling
for sure,
thing, to sit down and watch the games live as they happen.
This is about as close to, I mean, and Dakota, you can attain what we went through, like going through like one-on-ones in football, like just lining up. It's like Oklahoma drill. It's Oklahoma drill every night. I mean, those dudes, they line up and it's like, okay, like Wemby hates Chet. I don't think Chet hates Wemby as much as Wemby hates Chet.
Well, Wemby hates Chet because Chet's beat Wemby their entire teenage over in the European League and that stuff. And that's been over social media the last few days. And you can see it on his face. I mean, he tore his jersey off of himself watching Chet get the MVP on some Euro League. So I don't think Chet has any reason to hate Wemby because he's like, I've always beaten you. Like, okay, you can hate me, whatever. But Chet needs to hate him. Chet's playing like a little, I don't know, soft as cotton. He's playing soft as cotton. If you have to put Caruso to guard the tallest guy on the freaking court, and you also have a 7-footer, right? And he's out here guarding your point guard. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It makes zero sense. So for the Thunder to win, Chet needs to grow a pair. He has to grow a pair, but that's why I didn't like the Thunder when they drafted Chet. I was like, he needs to hit the weight room. He reminds me of Kevin Durant out of Texas. I said the same thing about Kevin. I was like, dude, can't bench 135. Like, and I mean, I'm a football guy. I love basketball. Don't get me wrong, but weight room, I think, in any sport's freaking important. They hate each other, though. It's so much so that I liked it. This is speaking a little bit, I guess, to me. I like this and I don't like this. I get it. It's dirty, but I like this. When Wemby was leaving and the trash players were coming in and OKC still had their good players in, he whispered in both their ears, like, hey, next play, both of them just go like taking dudes out, like running full push, and they're like, "Oh, whoa, hold on,"
Yeah.
and you're like, "Hold on, well, that was a coincidence, right?" So he want to shoot your free throw, next dude, boom, takes them out. It's like, okay, well, there's no coincidence here. You whisper in both their ears, right, and they come and just form tackle, all right, form tackle. OKC's, I wouldn't say star. I mean, you can get 14 deep in OKC and still say it's a star player. So it's all quality players for them. But yeah, no, it's for all the old heads saying, well, back in my day, they'd be knocking teeth out and we'd catch a tooth in the first row. It's happening again. It's happening again. And so much so, like, my schedule's kind of conflicted as well. But I extend my kids' bedtime to 10 to 11 so we can catch these Thunder games just because it's violent and Wimby's something special. I've seen him hit. I'm sure you've seen the highlights of it, but he's done some things that I didn't think a 7-footer should be able to do. Hey.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi.
You say I'm good.
I'm good.
So good to see you.
Hi, Coda.
Hi.
Hi, Coda.
Hi.
I like it, Coda. It's my favorite.
You like
Yeah.
to go to see your favorite. Kyle's there too.
You guys are
Yeah, I
my
don't care.
favorite.
No.
Kyle's just in the room. Kyle's a special guest for the show.
Yeah. Being fun, being Coda.
I love you.
Have fun in
It's so good to
Coda.
see you.
Look.
Those girls
We'll have to
love
come
music
down
and
soon,
fun.
okay?
Coda.
Come on. Yep. You're talking to the coach.
Right.
Come on.
I'll see you in a bit. Love you.
Mom, there's Coda.
Yeah, no, like I say, game 2, I mean, they all kind of realized that, Wemby, when he gets close to the rim, he's going to score.
Mhm.
And so you have to be physical enough to push him out to the arc. And they put Hartenstein in there, and he pushed him out to the arc, made it tough on him. And, they went on the 2-game win streak that they went on to make it 2-1. Obviously couldn't hit anything in game 4. And then game 5 rolls around, and it's like, okay, we're gonna blow you guys out, and it's gonna be that kind of game. And that's when it all kind of was like, okay, Wemby's gonna have to put up or shut up. And game 6 rolled around, and those guys came out, and whether you think game 2 is it was physical, it is what it is. They're pushing them out. Whatever it is that you think it is, I mean, this is playoff basketball. Like, it's win or lose. There's no dirty at this point. It just is what it is. Wemby threw an elbow through a guy's face. I mean, it's just
I love it.
just is what it is. Like,
I
these
used to do
guys,
that
they
shit
want
in
to
high
win.
school.
You have the ultra competitors on the court right now, and Wemby, from what I can see, is the ultimate competitor. The dude does not like to lose. I mean, he hates losing. He hates losing hopscotch, let alone game 7 of this, especially against Chet. I mean, he really.
And I know
really
SGA's the MVP. I know that. But if you had to take like Hawgs and Dawgs mentality, you want to take that dog mentality, give me Chet. Or not Chet. No, don't give me Chet. Give me Wemby.
Chet?
No, Chet's fucking knitting with some old lady at the nursing home right now. Okay, Chet.
Okay.
And the fact is, like, you could say this to Chet's face, and he'd just be like,
Vassell did that. Vassell blocked his shit, and then we looked at him and said, "What you gonna do?" And Chet kind of said something like, "Okay."
that's what, like,
like-
he's just,
And then he just looked at him and he said, "You're a bitch."
yeah, like he's. I would trade, like, I know, hot take. I would trade Chet. You're so deep. You're so deep. Go find you a real big man. Now, I don't know who that is. I don't have the golden answer of who I would go seek.
Golly.
But go find you a real big man. I mean, go find you someone who can actually go bang. Because Wemby's not going away. He's not going away. So for the next 5 to 7 years, if you want to go to the finals, you're going to have to beat him. And unless Chet wants to take some go-go juice from Space Jam, right, and get bigger, I just don't understand.
Chet friends with the Monstars out there.
He needs to. He needs to, because that's the way
Barry Bonds.
Spurs are playing, man. Yeah, he needs to call Barry's
To get some
agent.
of that Barry Bonds. I need to see Chet's head this big by next year.
Facts. His neck, just his neck, right? I mean, the dude needs to swole up because he's He's not getting it done. And so, I mean, I think ultimately, regardless of what happened, I would win the championship and I'd still trade his ass. And no one, if you're
I was a little bit surprised that there were as few moves as there were off of last year's championship team. Not because I thought there needed to be, but just because I'm kind of used to seeing that with championship teams. The teams go win their championship and maybe not dismantle everything, but players go different ways.
Key players, yeah, you should. Well, everyone's so young and under contract, they can't. So normally, like when you win the championship, you have 2 or 3 free agents, unrestricted or whatever. And so the Thunder, I mean, I think almost all of them are under contract for the next 3 to 4 years. So they were, unless OKC wants to move them in a trade, they can't just disperse and be like, hey, I'm going to go get paid. I think Caruso's the next guy to get a bag, if OKC doesn't want to give it to him. And so outside of that, no, I think the biggest thing the Lakers messed up with is letting Caruso go. I think he's and he doesn't do much. He's just that dirty factor. He's kind of that edge player, that's not going to back down. I've been here before. I won the championship. I can guide you guys there. Obviously, they've done it now. But
yeah, he's like Iguodala on those Warriors teams.
Yeah,
like just kind of just there, kind of a pest. And then whenever you need to do to get a stop, he gets a stop. Whenever you need to do to hit a shot, he hits a shot. Like
Stephen A. Smith's favorite player, Andre Iguodala.
That's Max Kellerman's favorite.
Was it Max Kellerman? Is that who it was?
Give me Iguodala.
yeah, with the world on the line.
Give me Iguodala. You're like, oh, hey, okay, all right, cool, man. Hey, Finals MVP.
Don't bring that up. Finals MVP, Godzilla for holding a man to 35 points. 7 rebounds.
So I have a good friend. He follows me on Twitter now. I used to work with him at a previous job, and he went and got he's got a finance degree and lives his life through an Excel spreadsheet, and is big time into basketball analytics and football analytics and all the stuff that I'm not either smart enough or willing enough to comprehend. He was beyond pissed off when Oklahoma City traded for Hartenstein and Caruso, because he thought that was imploding the team. He was just like, there's no way. I don't know if he was just a big Josh Giddey fan, but it was, you're moving this guy who's going to be a big part of your team to bring in a couple random pieces here who on paper aren't going to help you as much. And I think that Caruso and Hartenstein were 2 of the biggest reasons Oklahoma City won that championship last year.
I mean, you got Caruso straight up for Giddey. Giddey's problem was that he lacked the defensive sort of presence that the rest of the team had, and he kind of disappeared. He kind of pulled a James Harden in playoffs. He disappeared. You didn't know where he was. He couldn't hit threes at the time, and he was a really good passer, but that was about it. Hartenstein, I mean, they needed somebody to get in there and rebound. The reason they lost in 2024 was because they didn't have anybody in there on the boards. They were getting housed by the Mavs on the boards, and they got beat because they gave up too many offensive rebounds. So they just needed somebody in there that could actually physically push people out. Chet was skinny. I mean, he's bulked up quite a bit. He's 225 pounds. He probably weighed 185 pounds back then.
Yeah. And
he wasn't going to get it done. So it's like, okay, well, let's bring in somebody that can actually get in there and bang around. And, Hartenstein was sitting there with the Knicks playing well. And so they were able to get him from the Knicks. And that might have been, I don't know which one was sort of the turning point, I think.
When Do you remember what they traded for Hartenstein?
I don't. I want to say it was it Usman Dang? I think they traded him and maybe a second rounder for him. It wasn't a lot, but I mean, nobody wanted to see Usman leave. But yeah, I mean, like when I can't remember if it was Caruso or Hartenstein where it was like, okay, I think this team could win a championship after they got him. And I mean, last season, I mean, they didn't, there wasn't even a fight for first place. And then once they got to the playoffs, they had 2 series go to 7. And luckily, Aaron Gordon's hamstring turned into pulled pork, and Halliburton shouldn't have been playing. I to this day I feel awful because I'm like, I know he wanted to win, but don't put that man in just because like I didn't want him to get hurt. It didn't have anything to do with like the Thunder winning. It's like he's having such a great start to his career. Those damn Achilles injuries derail you pretty far. I mean, look at Jason Tatum. He tried to come back this year and he looks like a shell of himself. So let that heal. But they did what it is, but they were able to win. And this year they came back and I mean, they've been number 1 in the league longer than I think most people have. I think that they might have a record on it, I mean, honestly. But we'll see what tonight holds. I mean, it's going to be, I would imagine there's probably going to be a lot of there might be punches thrown tonight. I mean, I don't know. People are saying that if Wemby loses, he might shoot somebody. Like he might.
He's French. He doesn't know how to use a gun. Do they have guns over in France?
A blunderbuss. Pull out the musket.
Bayonet.
Hey, listen. Hey, we went to Paris one time, man. Everybody there, the police were walking around with AKs on their shoulder, like ready to go.
Oh yeah,
they were playing. What's up, baby?
I would still be openly antagonistic just because it's France.
Yeah, I get it.
I mean, the closest I've ever been to France is the Paris Hotel in Las Vegas, but I feel like that's close enough.
Hi.
The star-studded first episode of Hawgs and Dawgs.
I know we got the whole team in here, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. What was? Who y'all got winning tonight?
I was gonna say score predictions.
That'll be the hard part because it's ranged so much. But I'm picking Oklahoma City to win just because they're at home. I've said all season I think that's going to make the most difference. I expected both road teams to steal one on the other floor, so the series has gone pretty much exactly how I've thought in that sense. Now, the Game 4 score and the Game 6 score were wider margins than I expected. But I'm probably saying 115-105 in favor of Oklahoma City tonight.
Yeah. Golly, I'm back and forth on it. I'm a Wemby fan. Don't get me wrong. I love Wemby. I think he's great for the league. I think he's yes, baby. Thank you so much. You got like partial tongue going on.
You raising some Slytherins over there?
Yeah, I know. She's over here
speaking in
whispering.
tongues.
Can you go in there for just a second? Okay, I love you.
You say you're going to open the Chamber of Secrets here in a minute.
Oh, I know, man. I'm looking in my bathroom right now, making sure the toilet don't open up. There's some dangers in there, let me tell you. But no, so I mean, I think I've been back and forth. I'm a big fan of Wemby. Playing at home, though, I really like the Thunder. And I think it's going to be one of those real close games that comes kind of down to it where, people start fouling at the end of the game. I think the Thunder win by 6 or 7, go to the finals. And I think it's probably going to be like 114, 107, something like that along those lines where just down the line, the Thunder show up, At least I hope. I'm hoping for that. There's been so many game 7s where everybody's like, oh, let's go. It's going to be a good one. Then, somebody gets blown out by 20. So.
Well, I'm going the opposite. All-time classic. I think it's going to be an overtime. It's one that you're not going to want to miss. I think something significant happens where we tell our kids about it. Whether it's someone punching someone, like you said, a double overtime, iconic shot, right, or a tip in, whatever. I think SGA has been very non-MVP for me throughout these playoffs, and I think he would get more scrutiny if the Thunder weren't so loaded, because he can go out and have 8 points in the first half and them still be in the game or up. And so I think he shows up. I think Chet tries to come to the occasion, but the Thunder will play better. I think the Spurs have the 3 ball. That's what keeps them in this thing. And so ultimately, I think the Thunder get it done. But I think it's another overtime game, maybe double overtime game type situation. But we'll see. I'm excited. I'm excited for it. But this is the NBA Finals for me. I mean, I don't think the Knicks have a chance. I think whatever team plays the Knicks lose within 5 games.
And I think that's been consensus for the most part. I think it's been one of those that I don't know that it's not that people aren't high on the Knicks or think that the Knicks aren't a good team, but Oklahoma City and San Antonio have separated themselves all year as the 2 best teams in the NBA. And I think that's been that way. I don't want to sit here and just talk a bunch of mess on the Eastern Conference, but I feel like the Western Conference has been so loaded for so many years now that that's kind of what I expect, is that I'm looking at maybe even a better matchup. I did not expect last year's finals to go 7 games with Indiana. I didn't think Indiana was that good. But so maybe I'm wrong again, and maybe New York stretches it out. But I just, there's not been a team, maybe excluding that Celtics team that won a couple of years ago, that came out of the East that I've really thought was winning the West.
Yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of the East Coast, not barring like Indiana, a lot of the Midwestern teams, I mean, like maybe just Indiana. I mean, a lot of the East Coast teams, it feels like their owners want to just own a team. It doesn't feel like they actually want to win games. It's like, okay, if I can just make my value of this team go up, I'm fine with that. No, I don't need to win games. The Knicks don't have to win games to sell merch. Like, people want Knicks merch. It is what it is. It's a name. It's a brand. It's like the Lakers. The Lakers don't have to be good for you to buy Lakers stuff, right? Yeah. And so I feel like a lot of the East Coast sort of owners don't really care that much about winning enough to actually put a product on the court. Now, you saw Indiana last year do it. Boston is Boston. They just have a great organization where they're going to figure out how to get back to the finals every decade. One way or another, they're going to get back to the finals. Hi, baby. You go put some shirt on?
Yeah.
Okay, love you. Hi, baby. But they're gonna find a way to get back there. What'd you say?
They get one of the kids trying to go tarps off over there.
Oh, we're tarps off all the time. That's the problem. I was
getting ready.
Tarps off. I had to throw this hoodie on real quick, so I was tarps off over here, man. It's like, hey, it's underwear. It's underwear over here. That's it. Like we walk around.
Hey, next episode, no tarps. All right.
Hey, what I'm saying. We'll see you use Hawgs and Dawgs. But yeah, I mean, it's an interesting sort of thing where I think a lot of the Western teams are kind of in the middle of America. There's not like West Coast teams. They're in like all in the middle. And so you have all these owners that like actually like basketball and they want to win. You know, you think of, I mean, he's not the owner anymore, but think to Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban didn't just want to be the owner of the Dallas Mavericks. He wanted to win. And he was doing, I mean, he does post-game press conferences every game. You know, he was sitting there, he was doing, you know, all kinds of stuff when he was the owner of the Mavs, you know, hopping on, you know, after games in the regular season, a random November 30th game. He's just like, oh, let me hop in here and talk to you guys about what the team's doing. You know, that's just kind of how he operates.
That's just a Dallas thing, because Jerry Jones does the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And football's a little different. Those owners seem like they all kind of want to win. I don't know. Jerry kind of scares me every once in a while because I'm like, do you want to win, Jerry? Or the moves you're making kind of worries.
Jerry wants to be famous. So
he just wants to be famous. He wants to be in the headlines.
Hey,
the Cowboys won't be good till he dies.
He was in a Yellowstone or something like that. Oh, baby. Okay, give me 1 second. I'll be in there in a second. Okay, I'll help you. Okay, I love you. Okay, 1 second. Give me 1 second. Look, I'm talking. Once I'm off here, I'll come help you. Okay. Okay, I love you. Yeah, Jerry Jones was on like Yellowstone or something. What'd you say?
They should cast him Jerry Jones in Longest Yard
As the warden?
as the warden.
Yeah. Definitely. No, he'd do it. Like I say, he was on something like that. One of them, dad shows. And
Jerry Springer.
Yeah. he probably needs to be on
wrong
there,
dad show. Wrong
he probably
dad
needs
show.
to be on there, honestly. But no, he actually wasn't bad. Like he was actually a decent actor. Like it was kind of crazy. He shed a tear. Like he just like he did the thing. It was like, all right, let's go, Jerry.
Landon, did you ever hear the George Steinbrenner Seinfeld story about why they had So George Costanza works for George Steinbrenner in that show, works for the Yankees. And the person that they had playing George Steinbrenner, it was just the back of somebody's head, in the room. They brought in George Steinbrenner to read for that part and to be and play himself. And apparently he was so bad at it that they were like, we're literally just going to cast somebody else and show the back of his head because that is better than whatever the hell George Steinbrenner is trying to do on camera right now with this show. So he didn't set a great bar for sports executives in film. So I'm glad Jerry Jones exceeded that.
There we go. Well, good. Well, hey, good luck to the Thunder tonight. I hope they win. I need some happiness. OSU's been letting me down here lately.
Did you watch that upstate baseball game yesterday?
I watched the 7th inning. I think is when they scored the 2 runs to put it 8-5. And then that's when I turned it off because I knew OSU didn't have the juice to get back into it.
Yeah, when you start a game with 4 walks and 2 wild pitches, probably going to be a long day for you.
Yeah,
rough start.
So what's the summer look like for you, Dakota? What's your team's gonna be doing this summer?
We just finished up team camp at Carl Albert. That was last Friday, and so team's looking pretty good. Went out there and competed with them in Elgin. Elgin was in the state title the last 2 years in 4A, and they're moving up to 5A this year. And then Carl Albert's won state the last 4 out of 5 years. And I believe before that, I think they're, I don't know, like 10 out of the last 15 or something like that. But we decided just kind of as a staff to go up there and see, with us dropping from 6A2 down to 5A, what the best has to offer. And we feel, especially after team camp, we're right there within the top 4 teams in the state, without a doubt. And so biggest thing, we got probably 7 seniors that can legitimately go play college football. And so they're starting to take off a little bit with some steam. Michael Bennett's our running back. He got offered by SEMO, so he got his first D1 offer. But he's picking up steam with Kansas State, TU, and then I think he had Arizona State as well. But the best part about our team is we're young. So I got a left tackle that I'm very, very excited about. He's going to be a junior. He's 6'5", 355. I'm hoping this summer to get him down to about 330. But in my opinion, he was the best lineman at Carl Albert. Carl Albert has an lineman going to OU. I think he's going to be a junior as well, or a sophomore. He's 6'5", 285, I think it was. And my guy just, crushed him the whole camp. And so kid moved in last year, only played like 2 games for us. And so it's a big summer for him. We got our senior QB coming in, Braddix. And so he's dotting it up pretty well. And then got a few move-ins as far as receivers and stuff like that. And so I think we have the best, it's easy to say this, but honestly, the best 2 receivers in the state, and Landon Barber and Bryce Curran. Bryce, I told you this, Landon. Bryce is literally the fastest kid I've ever seen in pads. He's probably, I think in the 100, he's a 10-8 kid, and you put him in pads, and he's still a 10-8 kid. Like, it's not. No one, here's the disclosure, no one's going to believe us, but you cannot, if you're a DC listening, you cannot single cover him. You have to double cover him. You cannot do it. He will burn every single guy that you have. And so we're very excited about him. And so it's exciting, man. It's exciting. We're going to be doing a camp tour as far as D1 camps, taking those guys out. And so we got 5 or 6 different camps that we'll take those seniors to, and then some of those young prospects as well. But to me, this is my first full year with Sapulpa. Came in around the spring, around this time last year, but didn't really get to work spring ball with him. Just did team camp with him, and really excited because the JV went out there at Carl Albert and was the best offense out there. I mean, we moved, I would say, averaged 7 to 8 yards per carry, and then if we didn't complete a pass, it was just because it was overthrown on the quarterback, and so. That was what I was most excited about is the JV coming because those young guys coming up means we'll be good for the extended period of time. So, got a new field house being built. It'll be done in the fall. Getting a new weight room as well. 2 new gyms, a new high school being built in Sepulpa. So, it's exciting times. A lot of things going on, but very exciting. So we'll have Summer Pride starting June 8th, and then I think the first camp is actually June 5th, next Friday, if I'm not mistaken. So be excited. First kickoff, I think, is in 90 days.
Man, it's crazy. I mean, y'all were one of the best teams in 6A too. I mean, like, and getting to drop down. I mean, I know that y'all lost a little bit of, kind of your leadership last year, but I mean, it should be a good time this next year.
Yeah, man. Really, we were really fortunate with the seniors that we did lose. We had a senior running back, but the running back that we're bringing back this year was right behind him last year as a junior. And Levi was really great for us. He's actually going to walk on to OSU. So you guys should be able to see him in the fall. But he had a labrum surgery, and so he's recovering from that. But really young, I think in total we had 5 seniors, and 3 were receivers. And so as far as the offense, we're bringing back our core 11 starters on offense. We did graduate 2 offensive linemen, but we got move in from Glenpool in the fall, and so that's plugging up and some young guys helping out. But yeah, we were honestly, and I hate to, I guess hindsight's 2020, but if I just had more time with the O line, we would have won the 2 games. The 2 games that we lost in 6A2 were to the 2 teams that played in the state title, and so Choctaw and I don't even like saying those other guys' names, but the stinky guys in yellow.
That's Kyle's favorite high school. What are you talking about? That's Charles Page. Charles Page Singing Springs.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Patriots. It doesn't make any freaking sense. You got a Patriot freaking logo. You're a Sandite, and yeah, it makes 0 sense at all. 0 sense at all. And so, honestly, if we would have the offensive line, I love my O line. It's my fault. It's not theirs. It's my fault. I just didn't have enough time for us to work out the kinks, right? But I mean, my first year working with them, we got to the district title game at Sand Springs. I think we lost by 14. And then after watching the film, Sand Springs didn't do anything to beat us. Every bad play that we had was because we weren't doing the correct blocking technique or assignments. And so I always feel better about that. I never feel good about a loss, but it's never good when you just look at the film and like, yeah, we had no one that could stop that dude, right? Their defensive end just ran through any offensive lineman that he wanted to. There's nothing we could have done, coach. You could put 8 up there and he was going to beat us, right? I always feel better when it's like, no, I can fix this technique if you just give me time. And so we worked our tails off this offseason. Truly, we have, and we're going to continue to work over the summer. But we have a tough schedule in that 5A. We still got Del City, who has something to say about us coming. We got to go to Del City this year. Fort Gibson, I heard, lost their star offensive lineman. They got a tackle, I guess, going to OU, tore his shoulder his senior year, so he's out. And so we got to go to Fort Gibson first game. Sand Spring comes to us for the second. Then we got third weeks of bye and then start district play. And so Coweta is really good. They're returning, I think, all Quita's the favorite, I'm pretty sure, and then Pryor is really, really good as well. And so there's some good competition at 5A, don't get me wrong. But I know what we got, and as long as we stay healthy, we're really, really well coached, and we're going to be physical. And I don't think that they.
Hey, I'm just gonna go.
I'm getting off.
Right now?
Yeah, we're about to get down. Hey, don't forget Shawnee.
Hey, well,
But
hopefully
hey
I
guys,
don't have to wait.
I gotta go. We're gonna
Yes, sir.
try to get all this stuff figured out here. But thanks for hopping on here. This has been a good time. I think there's something here. Next time we'll discuss the top 12 list. And break it down. That should take up all of our time, and hopefully
as long as there's stadiums, there's going to be monstrosities of stadium food. So
yeah, hopefully by then the Thunder will be playing Game 2 of the NBA Finals, and we can all be happy.
For sure. For sure.
But all right, guys, thank you.
Yes, sir.
yeah, absolutely.
Peace.